On this week's edition, we're going to tell you about a milestone for the Chatham Bridge rebuild. All right, so on today's edition of Freeling Finds, we have a really cool opportunity to be down on the construction site of the Chatham Bridge project, and we're here with Robert Ridgell, who's the project manager of this of the Chatham Bridge rebuild for VDOT. This week marks kind of a milestone. Robert, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on here behind us?
Yeah, so behind me right now, you can actually see where we're actually demolishing the steel beams over the open channel of the Rappahannock River. So up right now behind us, we have gentlemen up there that are cutting loose the beams, and they're using the crane you see in the background to actually lift the beams off the bridge. So this is part of our accelerated demolition. You've seen a lot of work going on out here in like the last month or so. And once we have those beams off, we can begin some of the new construction to widen the structure.
So we were talking a little bit about the beams, like how old these beams are and sort of what the process will be after these are removed.
Okay, so yeah, these beams date back to the original bridge construction here in about 1940. These beams are going to come off. They do have lead paint and things on them, so we're removing them and taking them to an appropriate recycling facility. The new beams that will go back here will actually be weathering steel beams. So what people can expect to see at the end is you'll see beams that actually have a rust patina on them, and that stays in place, and actually the coating, that rust, protects the steel from further oxidation. So if you come back out here and you say, why are the brand new beams already rusty? They're actually made to look that way. It also kind of adds to the historical aesthetic of the area to give the beam that overall look. Once they get these beams off, what we'll be doing, if you see behind me, you see the pier caps behind me, and what we'll be doing is going in and we'll be widening the top of those structures. So once the beams are off, they'll chip away concrete to expose the underlying reinforcing steel, and then we'll pour back a widened concrete cap onto it to facilitate the new bridge.
And just talk about like a little bit about the new bridge and like how it'll be improved from the current bridge. And...
So the new bridge, the lane widths on the new bridge for automotive travelers will be similar width to what you had previously. The big improvement that you're going to see is that we're going to have a shared use path on the downstream side of the bridge, and that's going to help get pedestrian traffic off of those sidewalks that everybody knows was a little narrow in Chatham before. They'll actually have their own walking path that people can bike, and actually will help connect the Stafford Trail system to the future system in the city of Fredericksburg and allow people to move back and forth freely between the two safely. You'll also have a physical barrier between automotive traffic and the pedestrian traffic. We also, in coordination with the city of Fredericksburg, are adding a observation platform about midway down the bridge that will allow pedestrians and bicyclists and other recreational users to stop and take in the scenery of the river from the middle of the bridge.
We're really excited about that shared use path. Stafford's done a great job with their trail system, and we've got some great trails here in the city too. So having that connectivity, I think, really just will be an amazing opportunity to open up both sides. So kudos to you all on that.
Well, thank you very much, and kudos to the city and the county for all the work they put in on getting the trail systems together.
Absolutely.
And we hope to continue assisting that. We're working with the city right now on how this project might leave a good facilitation to continue building out the trail system down here on the bank of the Rappahannock. So we are in talks with the city on that to see what additional improvements we can make to the benefit of the city.
Timeline for the bridge?
We still have probably another week or so of steel demolition going on. Once we get after that, we're going to have several months of pier cap reconstruction. So we'll probably be working into the winter on the new pier cap construction. We'll be looking at probably getting new beams sometime in the early spring or late winter. The new beams will arrive and be set. And once that happens, things are going to come together very quickly. As you've seen on some of our bridges out on like I-95, as soon as those beams are up, we're going to go and start setting pans and formwork, and very quickly get to the point where we pour a new deck on the bridge so that we can meet that October 2021 date. The contractor is incentivized to beat that date, and we're hoping we're still on target to do that right now. Based on the schedules I've seen, we are.
Okay, great. Well, we'll look forward to the reopening. And, thank you for all you're doing to try to do it as quickly as possible, obviously as safely as possible as well. So, just everyone remember the businesses in the 100 block here of William Street do remain open. So come visit them, Bike Works, Rappahannock Exchange, etc. So, it's sort of a temporary inconvenience maybe for people, but long term, I know it's going to be worthwhile and a great new structure both for pedestrians and automobiles. So we really appreciate, Robert, you joining us today.
Yeah, no problem. You're welcome.
It's great to get this firsthand look, and maybe we'll come back when you set the new beams.
Sounds great.
Next year. So, all right, so that'll do it for this week's edition. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week. Be sure to tune in. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the notification bell so you can get an email each time we put out a new video. We'll see you next week.